Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today, one of Aesop's lesser-known fables about the Norwegian elephant and the French camel comes to life as the Viper, playing as the Bengalis in green, prepares to take on Sitaux, playing as the Berbers in red. Now, while the players herd their herdables, explore their explorables, and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP, not a bad opportunity for us, honk honk, to take a look at the Civ matchup that we are going to be watching today. The Bengalis, an elephant civilization through and through. All of their elephant units take less bonus damage, are more resistant to conversion, and can be upgraded to attack 20% faster. In addition to that, they do come with a small attack bonus. Their melee elephants come with a small attack bonus against skirmishers, which, by the way, applies to all Bengali melee cavalry. Now, in order to support these very slow but powerful units on the battlefield, Bengali monks come with a huge +3/+3 armor boost, and their unique unit, the Ratha, is one of the most versatile but hated units in the game, being a chariot unit that can switch between ranged attacks and melee attacks with trample damage. Now, to support the Bengali army, every town center does spawn 2 villagers for free whenever the next H is reached, and I'm going to apologize in advance as much as I'm going to try to remember to catch it when the Viper goes up to Feudal Age, assuming, of course, that he does. 99% of the time I do miss where those 2 extra villagers move. Now, the Bengalis can also put their monks and their villagers on a very, very strict diet by upgrading them to take 10% less population space. The way that works is each villager, each monk, instead of taking up 1 population room, takes up 0.9, which does free up room in Imperial Age for more villagers, more army, more of everything that you want if you are, in fact, the Bengalis. Now, taking a look at the enemy of the Bengalis on today's matchup. In today's matchup, we've got the Berbers, a civ that pushes its players into the 4 welcoming hooves of cavalry. All Berber stable units are 15% cheaper in Castle, 20% cheaper in Imperial, which makes their Hussars super duper trash units. Their camels can be upgraded to regenerate HP. Their castles can be upgraded to work 25% faster, both of which strongly benefit their first unique unit, the Camel Archer. This is a mounted archer with a good amount of HP, great speed, and an attack bonus against cavalry archers, which may mean, unfortunately, that we may not get to see the Bengali elephant archer, because it not only is a cavalry archer, but unless I'm mistaken, already comes with negative cavalry archer armor. Now, starting in the Castle Age, the Berbers can also train their second unique unit, the Genitor. Think of this as a mounted skirmisher that comes with more HP but less range, and does cost a little bit more food because you gotta feed the horse. Now, also not exactly a unit I'm expecting to see, since, as I mentioned earlier, all Bengali melee cavalry units do get an attack bonus against skirmishers, and the Genitor, as much as it is mounted, is still a skirmisher. And that'll help you get your economy up and running ASAP. Berber villagers, take a look at the movement speed, 0.84 tiles per second compared to the usual 0.8. They move 5% faster in Dark Age, and once you hit Feudal, they move 10% faster. Those are the 2 civilizations. I'm pretty damn excited. These are 2 fantastic players. I'm glad that we're getting to see them play against one another. Not a common occurrence when these 2 meet each other on the ranked ladder versus the tournament scene. And these are 2 fun civilizations. Like I said, the Bengalis very much an elephant civilization. The Berbers very much, among other things, a camel civilization. Although, that never discount their horsey units. In the meantime, as both players hit 18 villagers a pop, it looks like our Berber is getting loom. Has our Bengali gotten loom? Not yet, and he is just clicking it now. So, 1 extra villager and loom means that the Viper should be about 50 seconds behind his opponent, clicking up to the next stage, assuming it all goes according to plan. And it is, in fact, going according to plan. My apologies, 25 seconds. Wait, did Sitaux cancel loom? What am I missing here? Oh no, my goodness. My brain is not functioning optimally right now, obviously, because the only difference right now in the civilizations is that the Viper has 1 extra villager, which means he should be exactly 25 seconds or so behind his opponent. I say exactly, and then I add in or so. Now, of course, throwing a wrench into the calculations are the 3 massive seconds of idle time that Sitaux has gathered for his town center. Let's take a look, speaking of town center, where those resources are and how close they are to the safety of the TC. The Viper Let's look at the attack path. Primary gold, kind of on the attack path, not gonna lie. If our Berber decides to go south, which he is going right now, instead of north, this primary gold is very much on the attack path. The M-shaped stone is not. Extra gold to the front, extra stone very much to the front, and extra gold to the back as well. Forests, pretty far away. Not really in a very helpful walling position in the forward part, but flanks might be a little bit easier here to wall off. Both players are now in the Feudal Age. Primary gold for our Berber. Okay, not exactly on the attack path. He has a bit of extra gold off to the south as well. His extra gold and extra stone, though. Oh my goodness, look at the attack path between the players. 3 of the secondary resources are all on the attack path here. Our Berber getting a little bit more shafted than our Bengali with this extra stone patch here, but he does have his primary stone rather nice and secure to the back. And unlike the Viper, actually, never mind, the Viper also has a nice rectangular forest. They both do. Sitaux's forest's at least in a bit of a C shape, a cup shape, convex, concave, depending on which angle you're looking at it from. Defensive ring of forests. We'll see whether or not these players do decide to wall their bases in. For now, the Viper is walling in a small portion, also keeping his berries safe because they are very much in the forward position. Sitaux has seen everything right now. How much has the Viper seen of his opponent's base? Also, everything. So both players, fantastic scouting at the 11-minute mark of the game to know where all of your players, your opponents rather, not only primary but also additional resources are located. You know exactly where to apply pressure, and Sitaux might want to apply pressure right here where 3 out of the 5 resources seem to be located, whereas the Viper might want to apply pressure over here, or at least very least at this juncture of lumber, stone, and gold. Our Bengali is moving forward with 2 archers. A third one has been trained. I'm assuming this is the Dot. No, Dot was moving a little bit too fast. I should have known. He is waiting for a few more reinforcements before he pops out another pair of archers. Couple of lakes here with a few shorefish. Not going to be very relevant to anybody at the moment. Not too sure why I even pointed it out, except it is part of the map. Ooh, okay. Our Berber going Mr. Yo style, walling off a huge chunk of the map for himself. Although, to be fair, there is not a lot happening here. This is like literally Arabia. This is a big old empty space containing jack nothing. As he now moves and pivots his army around, expecting an attack, trying to play defensive while he walls in. Either way, he is moving them in the right direction in order to intercept these 4 archers. There's a scout here, but will he reach the wall off too late? He does. The Viper sees it and immediately says, okay, well, if I can't scout there, well, I'm just going to scout up here. Ooh, wait a second. Wait a second. This is an exposed villager here to 4 archers. Will the Viper notice? Okay, he's going after the scout instead. Takes down its HP, but mission accomplished. The scout saves the villager. Quite likely saves the villager. You never know 100% based on the micro of the players, but man, does it seem like that scout took a bunch of damage to its HP and has managed to save that villager, which means there's a gap in the defenses here. Ugh, I was gonna say he's safe from raiding since he can continue walling this in. And walling the Viper out. Speaking of the Viper, first blood drawn by him as a Berber skirmisher does lie dead. Remember, again, all of their cavalry unit. Look at that, skirmisher +2. And much like I mentioned with the Saracens having a bit of an extra edge in Feudal Age with their foot archers coming with a bigger attack bonus, rather an attack bonus against buildings, this kind of edge in Feudal Age is really powerful, especially if you're starting to mix in archer units. And you can already tell, look at the kill count, 4-0. All 4 of it, these scouts. And now they're engaging with skirmishers again. And these are not Vietnamese skirmishers that come with extra HP. These are just basic skirmishers, although somebody managed to kill a scout. Not you, which tells me, what is it, the town center? Definitely the town center. Did he plug the gap here? No, he hasn't. So Sitaux's base, despite... I mean, is this walled in as well? This palisade house? I'm not too sure. There's a bit of a hill here. And like an Escher picture painting. It's very misleading sometimes, Age of Empires. Sometimes you think your eye is following a nice straight line, only to discover that, wait a second, there was a hill here all along. Viper's trying to close in on these skirmishers as Sitaux' spearmen try to close in on the scouts, closing in on the skirmishers as the archers gun the spearmen who are closing in on the scouts down. And now the Viper's just maneuvering while the scouts are getting the absolute optimal kills here, just wrecking these skirmishers. Now the Viper is losing, to be fair, gold intensive archer units, but does he care? He's already heading up to Castle Age. Sitaux got the resources, he's got the structures, and now he also clicks up to the next age. And the Viper has a scout behind enemy lines. Let's see those enemy lines, by the way, because again, okay, Sitaux heading over to finish this construction project. We see in archery range a blacksmith. The Viper, for his part, because he's the one putting on all of the aggression, doesn't really care about walling himself in. Kind of looks like he does care a little bit, but not too much, you know? Kind of like when you already have your mark for the class, and there's like, you know, like a 5% project, or a project that's worth 5% of your mark, and you're already at like, I don't know what, 85%. You don't really care about that project, and so you kind of, but not really, put in the effort. We've got a blacksmith for him, a stable in archery range. Literally the only thing missing here is a market for him, but didn't really need it. Didn't need to sell stone. Either player didn't need to sell stone. And no, against any other player, most other players, these would have been secret stables, but not so against the Viper, who sees them and then immediately gets the hell out. He knows something quick is coming out of these stables, and something quick with 20 extra HP, as Bloodlines is being researched for our Berber populations. Pretty much identical villager counts, 7 army count to 0. Let's see what our Berber does, because he is not only down in, I guess, an infinite number of army supply, infinite percentage of army supply, but he's also behind when it comes to going up to the next age. Now the Viper is getting wheelbarrow, which will stall his military production a little bit, which is why he's hitting castle and he's going eco. 2 town centers going up for him, a very rear town center. Okay, so expecting a continuation of archer play is our Berber, and he does not want to risk. I mean, this is a very nice, long, but thin forest. What about this one up here? Okay, he didn't really wall it in optimally, right? He could have walled in over here or over here. Not that I'm really one to tell a player with 2600 elo how to wall their base in, but this basically makes this wood unjackable. This wood is unjackable, which means he had to place, yeah, the only logical place to put down your next town center, unless you want it to be like the Viper and play it a little bit more fast and loose and risky. Oh, tell me the Viper's not going to see that extra town center. That would just be incredible. And what he does see is a couple of knights moving forward. Now husbandry janitors. I really did not expect to see this unit against the Bengalis, but I am so happy that we're seeing it. Right now, 8 out of the Viper's 9 army count is incredibly susceptible to this unit. It comes with an attack bonus of spearmen +3, archers +4, cavalry archers 0, but there are no cavalry archers on the field. But the pikemen and the 5 archers, who are still kind of circling here to the south. I'm surprised the tiger hasn't kicked in yet. He, of course, kicks in right as I say that. Oh my goodness. Villager, take up the mantle of killer here. Oh no. How does he escape? We'll keep an eye on that. I'm really curious once this all shapes out the way it shapes out, to see whether or not the Viper with his scouting was able to see that town center. Okay. So armies are being zoned out for both players. Okay. Sitaux is trying to, okay, I'm going to stop saying okay. I realize I've said the word okay like 6 times in the last minute. He's trying to zone this unit out, but he's finally going to get it. Let's see if the Viper has seen. Oh my god, of course he has. That is just incredible vision out of him. Feudal Age Archer versus Castle Age Genitor. It looks like there's been 1 archer kill, 2 archer kills. Down center fires a whole bunch of arrows and gets all 6 kills. Oh my god. This one Genitor probably wanted to get those kills, but you know what? Softening up. the units so that the TC can kill them. Not that really the TC really needed the units to get softened up here, right? A well-garrisoned TC should pretty much one-shot a Feudal Age archer unit. But in any event, the Genitors are out in force. We're going up to 9 of them. They're getting fletching as well. Armor upgrades for these knights existing. 5 town centers. And of course, I missed all of it. As I said in the beginning, I do my best to try to remember. And maybe next time I cast the Bengali game, I'm just going to put a giant post-it note on my monitor that says, hey, dummy, look at the Bengali town center when they go up to the next stage. Because not only did I miss it for feudal, I think I missed it for castle. And now he's got 5 town centers. Now, when an elephant civilization at the 26-minute mark of the game goes 5 town centers, having sacrificed, but keep in mind, that's a lot of wood. That's a lot of stone. So you are sacrificing not only the infrastructure that wood gives you, but also the wall off, and also a castle is delayed. Unless, of course, your opponent has less stone than you. Whenever an elephant civilization goes 5 town centers at the 26-minute mark of the game, I get very excited. Blood rushes to various... I'm not going to finish that sentence, but I get very excited that we're going to see elephants. That being said, for now, there's really no indication of that. The Viper just getting up his market, still just has the one stable. Genitors are wrecking everything here, but 2 converted knights are going to try to fight back against this red tide, and they both die. Okay. And now the Viper maybe played a little bit too economic, and he is going to face the wrath of a very mobile, very fun to watch Berber army that's getting devotion. He is sick and tired of donating his knights to the Bengalis. Where the hell do you think you're going? Okay, the Viper says, forget it. I've got way too many villagers. He's ahead 25 villagers over his opponent. I'm so glad not only that we're getting to see Genitors, but we're seeing them in this quantity. Now, the HP is not exactly fantastic on these units. It's down about 25-30%. But whatever the Viper is building here... Oh, he's getting bloodlines. Okay, I'm trying not to get too excited because he's getting bloodlines, but he's also at 613 stone, but also has stopped mining stone. So a lot of contraindications here out of the Norwegian Elephant Master, who has now lost 3 villagers. Sitaux has a huge kill lead, 28-17. Oh, and he's discovered this castle going up, and the Viper's gonna pay for it. Even with all these Genitors, it's still not enough to one-shot villagers. And now he's kind of stuck here between 2 town centers. Has Sitaux explored the southern portion of the map? His castle is up first, and immediately a camel archer coming out for him. There's husbandry. There's scale barding armor. Are we going to get to see elephants? Are we going to get to see rathas? Rathas are also, remember, in melee mode, do come with an attack bonus against this unit. The Viper has now lost 10 villagers. His lead of 25 is now a meager 22 villager lead. And oh yeah, I wanted to check if Sitaux had seen the southern expansions. No, he hasn't. Hasn't seen either of these dual town centers. Has seen 3. He needs to explore the south immediately to discover that the Viper is really, really roiding up his economy. Now, he has lamed the castle. Not quite at Doubt Castle levels just yet. But our Berber has stopped all military production. Why has he stopped all military production? He's thiefing. Remember I said this would be a good place for the Berber to attack into? I'm glad I said that. Because sometimes I call things right, sometimes I call things wrong. Like, remember when I said we wouldn't see any Genitors this game? Well, the Viper says, you know what? I disagree with Isaac so much that I'm just going to take one of your Genitors. Don't mind if I do. And now they abscond. They get under cover of not so darkness. 450 HP down. These units need to be healed immediately. And Sitaux, the reason he stopped all military production, he is going up to Imperial. Down 23 villagers. Okay, now he's going to discover. Maybe not. I think the Viper is trying to distract him, is trying to push him out of here. with these light cavalry units. And he does it. Mission accomplished. Sitaux thinks there's a house and a lumber camp here instead of 2 town centers. Yikety yikes. Now, I could be just, you know, selling this for nothing here. Or maybe I'm not. 4 stables. 4 stables. It's definitely not for... It is definitely not for... Ooh, town center goes down. I get so distracted. I distract myself so much. Definitely not for hussars. Because the Bengalis do not get hussars. But now he's also getting ballistics. What the hell is he getting ballistics for? His castle? I mean, you're fighting against a slow-moving ram and a castle. So I'm not too sure you really need ballistics here. But he's exposing his monks. The Viper is literally doing whatever he can to shoo Sitaux away from this area. Light cavalry, mangonel, and monks. Get out. I do not want you to see what's happening here in Area 51. Do not conspiracy theory it. You'll see soon enough. That being said, the Viper's resources, he needs to reclaim this land very, very quickly because he does not have the gold for elephants. Genitors move forward. Sitaux's going to be in Imperial Age very, very soon, about a minute ahead of his opponent. Camel archers are out as well. Okay. Now these specialize in killing cavalry archers. Okay. It's nice to know that sometimes I have a decent sense of this game. Although, to be fair, the Viper is now down to 3 town centers. Sitaux has not budged beyond his original 2. The Viper is now adding a 4th. Okay, so he realizes, of course, that he needs the gold. He didn't need to listen to me to tell him that he needed the gold. And look at this beautiful spread out Berber army moving forward. Man, is the Genitor a beautiful unit. Okay, this should clue you in. This should clue you in as well that he's going something gold intensive, or maybe not. Maybe it's all just one big feint, one big part of some plan that the Viper has. He's continuing with the upgrades though. Skirmisher +2 on the elephants, although I don't really anticipate them catching up to those Genitors anytime soon. Light Cav have gotten 1. Game derps out. I think just the 1 villager. 2nd. Now, the player who probably needs ballistics, Sitaux, does not have ballistics, as his camel archers chase over here. He's got 2 trebs, though, and he is starting to shell away at this castle. Okay, the camel archers do catch up, but there's a fresh band of light cavalry units moving forward. Elite battle elephant is here. And okay, now Sitaux definitely notices, but he's fighting downhill against a mangonel and a scorpion. And he's, oh, the pathing is so atrocious. I have my hand literally on my forehead right now. The pathing is so atrocious. Okay, he gets a monk. He gets a monk and then he gets trapped. Is this open? I think he can go forward. No! No, why did you go that way? What's going on over here? Camel archers are slaughtering the camel archers. Army counts are identical. The Vipers ahead 34 villagers. I mean, I did not expect it. Okay, for all the... What? For all the right calls that I made made so many wrong calls this game. I said I didn't expect the elephants to catch up to the Genitors. And look, they've been catching up nonstop. I need to rewind this and see what the hell's going on. What is happening? All of a sudden, this game for 38 minutes was so, you know, normal and okay, a little bit of kills here, a little bit of kills there. Not exactly the highest kill count for either player. Sitaux's killed 20 villagers, though. That is a fantastic get for him. But then the last minute of this game, things just went completely bonko. So it looks like Sitaux dealt with the cav archers, the cavalry units over here, rather. And now his camel archers, they're down about 100 HP, are moving forward. So let's keep an eye. So then we have got 3 battlefields, which tells you how ridiculous the micro of these players are. What was the peak APM? Really? That I was expecting it to be at 200 for both players. So Sitaux's gunning down a castle, nothing being trained out of here. He's got a ram kind of hanging out. The light cav are moving into his base. And let's see what happens here. Actually, let's see before we start. Yeah, look at the HP on these Genitors. Come on, you're down 1/3 of your HP. This is not an army fit for a battle right now, especially not on the low ground against siege units. Okay. Mangonel volley. I mean, so much damage already. And then they run through the elephants. By the way, we're going to be looking at all 3 battlefields individually because I really am curious to see how things collapse that in a minute Sitaux decided to GG. And then they run through the elephants again. Again, why? It's so painful. And then they stop, which I'm assuming means Sitaux is microing back home. And he loses 4 more Genitors. And now he's chasing. Castle is down. Sitaux's moving forward for stone of his own. But... okay. So what happened here that... I suspect that what happened here is probably what caused them to GG. Or maybe not. Let's see what actually ended up happening as the elephants, the siege, engage from the high ground here. Let's highlight these 2 units because I feel like the camel archers, first of all, should be moving back and getting help from the town center. Otherwise, these fully armored light cavalry units, which again come with an attack bonus against skirmishers, not really relevant here, but just figured I would mention it, are just slowly making their way through these camel archers. Ouch, ouch, ouch. And no, this is what you should have done originally. Yikes. So in a minute, 2 out of 3 battlefields just absolutely collapse for our Berber. The third, he's making very good progress. He's teethed the secondary, the tertiary gold, and the primary stone. The Viper has this gold. I don't know that Sitaux really needed to GG over here. Now, keep in mind, again, you are fighting Bengali elephants, and Bengali elephants are similar to Sicilian units. Like I said in the beginning, they take less bonus damage, 23%, 25 rather. Oh my God, why did I say 23? 25% less bonus damage they take. And so if you at least had a maybe meat shield of camels, they could do a good amount of damage, not as much as they would do against other elephant units perhaps. But I think the fact that he sees elite battle elephants, the fact that he literally lost 80% of his Genitors in this atrocious move command through mangonel fire, scorpion bolts, getting walled in. Maybe you should have moved in. And then running them through the gauntlet of elephants. 12 kills these elephants had. They have no business getting 12 mounted skirmisher kills. They should not even be in the same room together. It should be like that scene in the X-Men Last Stand where Kitty is being chased by the Juggernaut. And she just keeps going room after room after room. I think that's X-Men Last Stand. Ahead of him. That's the way it should be with these quicker units versus the slower units. But Sitaux is microing way too many locations at once. And his camel archer count just shat the bed, which means that he does not have the ability to defend these villagers. He's already at a deficit. He must have looked at a score and seen, hey, I'm down 1,000 points. What is going on? And tapped out. Let's see here. So a bit of a standard army. No major kind of heavies here for our Bengali, which is surprising. These pikemen, by the way, were probably the least useful units I have ever seen. The most useless, the least useful, whatever you want to call them. They were created, the Genitors killed them, and that's all she wrote. And then he just replaced them with elephants, whereas Genitors and camel archers are on the menu here. PKPM 17 minutes in, PKPM 1 minute. Really, neither player had PKPM at this point when there were 3 different battlefields happening? Okay. By the way, how cool, and by cool I mean like calm and collected, is the Viper getting pressed into here and just expanding over here? How many stables? He is about to unleash a can of elephant whoop ass with 12 elephants in training. Wow, okay. The economy's mamma mia with 4 relics and 1,200 gold. The Viper takes an 11,000 resource lead. Okay, now the picture is starting to become a little bit more clear. The economy is literally a third bigger for our Bengali than it is for our Berber, who, to be fair, did manage to get all the stone for all the good that did him. 3 conversions to 0, 9 brazings to 2. So our Berber did destroy more. And at the end of the day, the kill count, not too dissimilar. 1 player going heavy on the military kills, 1 player going heavy on the villager kills. But in the blink of an eye, we saw it a few days ago with a single battle. And I believe that was also the Viper playing as the Slavs. A single battle is enough to just make a player high elo, low elo, mid elo, no elo, doesn't matter, throw their hands up in disgust and say, ah, shit, there's really nothing I can do here. And Sitaux ran out of gold, ran out of defense at home. I'm highlighting everything. He's got one Gamel Archer here. And then ran out of patience and time. And I love that he was taking his opponent's gold, which means that even if the Viper could have pressed him back, he still has pretty much all of his own gold left to mine, which is, I ask you in the comments, did he need the GG? The Berbers, with their 20% discount on stable units, can pump out a huge meat shield against the more expensive Bengali elephant. They're not Malay elephants. He's paying full price for these. And he just dumped a whole bunch of money into the elite upgrade. So I don't know that necessarily our Berber had to GG. He's got control of this area. What I would love to have seen is a town center here pumping out more and more and more villagers. Now, of course, after all my nonsense about missing where the villagers went, I missed it when the Viper went up to Imperial, where the 6 extra villagers went. That's just the kind of a high quality self-loathing you get here at Cast of Empires. Of course, just joking. I'm kidding. But in any event, what a fun game. I'm glad I got half the calls right. Not too glad I got half the calls wrong, especially this one. I, in a million years, did not expect elephants to catch up to genitors. Although catch up is a bit of a misnomer here, because once and twice he ran them right through the elephants. And a third time, he must have been microing somewhere else, because look at them lying dead with their spears and their shields, and the poor horses as well. And ultimately, the Viper with the switch to the elephant, the oh so scary elephant, even though his gold, 2 of his gold patches and his primary stone was lamed, he just expanded elsewhere, found the other patch of gold. If he didn't find this, if he didn't scout this, he probably would have GG'd when Sitaux had the 2 castles up and was pumping out trebs. Who's kidding who? It's map vision that saved the Viper, and with that map vision, he gets the gold. With the gold, he gets the chunky boys, and with the chunky boys, he gets the W, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.